Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 18, Zino Nation. How is everybody? Steve Carpenter, Remote Pilots Australia, Airy, Art's in the house, Peter's in the house. Who else we have? Floyd Motes is in the house, and Craig Yarker's in the house. Pepito, good day, everybody. Well, I want to first give an update about Val. Val is doing absolutely fine. She's still home from work, still probably going to be home from work tomorrow as well. And got to thank everybody for your prayers, thoughts, and well wishes. Just want to let you know she had gallbladder surgery, she had hernia surgery, and had a cyst removed from her liver, which was benign. So we're very thankful for that. Again, she's making progress. She was home by herself today, which I kind of, pulled whatever little hair I have left out of my head today. But she did well. She behaved. She did everything that she was supposed to. So that's all good. Now I want to let everybody know about my video from last night. I know I got a lot of comments about the video. I want to issue an apology to all my viewers and subscribers. The gentleman who sent me the email had altered the email. And I'm going to go ahead and share that. I'm going to share the original. I'm going to share the email that he sent to me, and then I'm going to share the original email. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And there we go. I think we should have that there. Okay. You can see right here, and this is from, you can see, hang on here. I don't think I'm sharing right here. Hang on, guys. I don't know what's going on. Hang on a second. Okay. The email that he sent me said, Brian, there will be newer versions of Phantom coming. And I want to go ahead and share with you a screen that says, now this was from Phantom Pilots Forum, and this was dated 8/31/2018. I got this a week ago from DJI CEO Frank Wang. I'd say we can expect a new Phantom as outlined by his reply, okay? Now, the reply was, then this was edited. There may still have newer versions of Phantom coming. He had edited that. So I want to issue, again, an apology to all my viewers and subscribers. That video has been deleted. It is gone. It will not be up there. And one thing, I will take my lumps for this, but I will also tell everybody to double check, triple check, and make sure you try to verify your sources before you run with something. Again, that was my big mistake. And again, I wanted to apologize for that. So with all that being said, I want to welcome Zino Nation here tonight. Zino Nation in the house, people. Okay, we have Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Braun. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Marcus, you take it away first.
Well, doing pretty good. Got the old Zino all ready to go here. Haven't flown that in a while. This is probably the most exciting product that I've dealt with in a while. You guys, if you saw a video recently, you saw that thing fall from the sky. But yeah, doing good.
Awesome. Well, this is what we're going to be spending some time talking about the Zino, talking about a new purchase that both Marcus and Ron made, the Parrot Anafi, and we're going to be talking about Marcus's new purchase as well, which he just did a video on. So, okay, first, guys, any more firmware updates on the Zino, or is everything been good for a while with that?
Bill, yeah, we're just patiently waiting. The last update is, what is it, Marcus, 1.50?
Yeah, 5.0 is the latest version. That's
right, and I'm not going to go through all the numbers on the camera and the gimbal update, but 1.50 is like the flight controller, which is the big one. So, and what 1.50 did is killed the return to home feature. If you fly it out of range, it will not return to home on its own. The fail-safe return to home, you have to actually turn the controller off, and then it'll lose connection to the controller, and then it'll come home again. So, so we're waiting on a fix for that, and just it still needs general improvements on the flight control. It still crabs a little, it still flies a little crooked. It's much better, but there's still work to be done. So that's kind of the update on the Zino. All we have at this point, we're just kind of waiting and for another thing. But we last night on Zino Nation, we had Chris, the QC guy, on. It was a great show, and he's very knowledgeable in the Zino, more than Marcus and I. He actually takes them apart and fixes them. So it was a great show last night. And before I go any further, this is to Bill, the drone reviewer, and Bill Thomas. I want to thank both of you for the Zino Nation. Without you guys' support and guidance in creating the show, Zino Nation would have never happened. So a big shout out to both my favorite Bills on YouTube. So
that's fantastic.
So I'm going to roll this over to Marcus. He has something to show and tell here.
Go for it, Marcus.
Well, you guys were talking about the Anafi, so I just quickly went behind me and grabbed it. Yeah, Ron and I have been having a lot of fun with this little guy. It's got a ton of potential. It seems like all these drones are starting to kind of fit in this category, getting in a price range of that between $250 to $500. There's a lot of good choices out there, and evidently we just can't help ourselves. So Ron bought one, and then in fact it was on Zino Nation that Brian Singleton was on there, and they were espousing the Anafi. So while we were on the air, I went on Amazon and I bought this little guy. So
we twisted his arm, Bill. Bill, your knowledge, is that the first time somebody's purchased a drone live on a live show on YouTube?
That might be. We might have a first here, guys. I don't think anybody's ever done that. I think we need to mark this in the Hall of Fame. That's for sure.
I'll have to get a replay or a clip of that. His finger hitting that buy button.
Absolutely. We'll get that on. It'll go viral. We'll get 100,000 views on it for sure, without a doubt on that.
Hey, Bill. Bill, if the Phantom 5 gets released during this show, will you hit the buy button before the show ends?
You know what? I'll put the phone up to the screen so everybody can see it.
Hey, I'm not joking one iota. I would do exactly the same thing. And Bill, when you were at that show when they introduced the Mavic 2, I'm not kidding you. I was sitting here paused at my keyboard, and I kept refreshing the DJI site. And the minute you could buy it, I hit that button.
Well, I got to tell you this, man. That's interesting you brought that up, Marcus, because, okay, in the front row, Ken Dono, Billy Kyle, Rick Smith, all right, all of them, they're on their phones right when the presenter's talking. They're ordering it as soon as the show started. And yeah. Valerie's looking at me because Valerie went with me. She's like, "What are they doing?" I said, "They're ordering their Mavic 2s right now."
Spending money.
It was just absolutely hilarious. I gotta say this, okay? I really like Brian Singleton's video on the Anafi, and especially when he came out with a 4K version of that. Bill Thomas was like, "You need to see this video." I'm like, "Okay." So I go out there, and I was like, "Wow, all right." It just really wowed me, and I actually had a chance. Rick Smith was in town, and I got a chance to fly things I hadn't flown before. I've flown the Anafi for like about until the battery went. Had to land. I'll tell you what. The one thing, my favorite thing about that drone is its agility. It stops on a dime. It turns when it's supposed to. It's extremely responsive. I absolutely love that about it.
Bill, to S'more on the beach, I did my first. I did my first dolly zoom with the Parrot Anafi, and I don't have enough for a full video, but I'll post that little clip of my dolly zoom. It worked perfectly the first time I tried it.
Really? That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. I'll be anxious to see that clip, Ron, because I know, it's like, and that was one thing that people, when they first came out with the Anafi and they were talking about that and they're going like, it's a digital, it's the dolly. I'm like, I says, hey guys, I said, you need to check this out. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Well, here's something I didn't know, Bill. Even though it does have a digital zoom, like and I don't quote me, I'm not technically right here, but even though it's digital, like at least 3 stops of it are lossless. Were you aware of that?
No, I was not.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a setting in the settings where you could change it to where it'll zoom even more. But I think it's 3, and I hate to use the word stops, but it's I can't come up better. There's 3 stops that are digital, but they're still lossless, and you can have it not zoom beyond what's lossless.
Wow. Well,
It's not as good as Marcus's DJI Mavic 2 zoom, but it's less than half the price.
Well, we got some guys to join the chat. Mel's in the chat. Joe's Drone Life is in the chat. Drone Obsessed Jerry's in the chat. Thomas Sullivan's in the chat. And my friend Ian Jones from the UK, he's in the chat tonight. So I want to welcome everybody again. We have Zino Nation on tonight. We're talking to Marcus and Ron, and we're just going to keep going into it. Do you think, and tell me, because I know for me, if I had funds right now, I'd have probably gotten an Anafi too. Do you think that there's going to be a resurgence with that? I mean, there's been, because I have an Anafi, you guys know I have an Anafi group, and it was just like straggling at about 50 or so, and now it's like about 350.
Well, Bill, take it away, Marcus.
Well, the only thing, the dynamic that I think may have changed is the fact that you can buy that refurb for $450, and that puts it right in that sweet spot of the price range. It was probably, I hate to say it was overpriced before. So if you were going to spend $800, well, you probably went ahead and bought a Mavic then, right? And at $450, boy, there's just a lot of value in that at this point.
Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. When the Anafi first came out, it was $699. Is that correct?
Yes, you are right.
And at that time, the Mavic Air was $799. Correct?
Yes.
So the price point did kill the Anafi. It needed to be, it needed to be separated from the Mavic Air. $100 wasn't enough separation. If they were released at $599, they probably would have had a hit right away. But so many people said, well, it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. I'll just spend the extra $100 and get the Mavic Air. So Marcus is right. I mean, it's a great drone at the right price point. Even if you had to pay $549, which I think was the sale price of Best Buy at the holidays, even at $550 brand new, it's a winner. Again, unless you absolutely need obstacle avoidance, I'm not sure what the Mavic Air 2 has over it.
Well, it's a good comment here, Ethan Mitchell, and I know Ethan has a Parrot Anafi.
He's done excellent work with reviewing.
Oh, Ethan does fantastic videos on if Parrot comes out with an Anafi Pro with a better camera and the same reinforced body and Anafi thermal, I think we'll see an influx. That's a great Ethan. Thank you for that. That's a great comment, and it's just for me. I think the one big thing, and I think you touched on it, Ron, was the price point. The whole thing about the price point. And Anafi, I mean, Parrot really kind of blew it when they came out in the way that they priced it, because it's like $200 less now than what it was when they first went out with it. And I know Billy Kyle went to they have their version of their announcement kind of thing, and he said it was in a very small, cramped area. Really, flying it was difficult and everything. And he was promised he was going to get one, and he never got one, kind of a thing for review.
That's a shame, yeah.
Yeah. So
mistake on Parrot's part, because Billy Kyle would have sold a whole boatload of Anafis.
Oh, I know.
Right.
That's the thing, Marcus. That's great. It's like when you see a quality review like Billy Kyle. Now, one of the things that I have to say about like a lot of the drone companies, and I'm not just talking about DJI, but I'm going to focus on DJI specifically. Kelly Shores got, he usually gets them before they had that. He had, it was 11 o'clock here. I got, and this was funny when I was looking at my phone, I saw Ready Set Drone. Mavic 2 Pro review. It was 11 o'clock during the presentation. His video came out on it, and when you get quality reviewers out there like Kelly, like Rick Smith, like Billy Kyle, and they come out with something like that, that's that's really gonna click, and that's gonna make a difference in getting sales for them. And that's what they want. They want to get people from quality reviewers out there. They want to get them, and it just really surprised me why Billy never got one. I mean, that was just he was even shaking his head too about that.
I agree with you, Bill. I think the Anafi was badly promoted at the time of its release. The PR department probably is responsible. So the pricing and the PR department, are partly responsible. Plus, I mean, Ethan's comment that the camera, whatever. I mean, let's get this straight. If you're a professional, if you're a licensed pilot and you're working professionally, the Anafi's not for you. It doesn't have the camera's not for professional. But if you're a hobbyist, if you're the type of person you do most of your video and photography on your cell phone, the Anafi's fine. The Anafi is the quality of your smartphone.
Hey, Ron, one thing there though is the photojournalist, and I apologize, Bill, I don't remember her name that you had on. She used the Anafi because she liked that camera that could look up.
Gail was her name. Yeah, but yeah, I agree, Marcus. I mean, it's like, when you think about the package that the Anafi can deliver and having that ability, I mean, if you're flying under something and you can look up and you can record that, I mean, that's incredible. And and thank you for bringing that up about Gail. When you're in tight quarters, that's an easy drone to carry around. Even to the point, it's almost easier than like the Mavic Air, because the Mavic Air is so compact.
That's a nice thing about the Anafi is that, maybe it's not as good as some of the, I hate to say the DJI drones, but it has a special, has a few tricks up its sleeve that the drone in its price range does. Isn't that right, Marcus?
Yeah, no props, no props ever in your video, and that's huge. One of the things that just, Bill, and you can comment on this, when I got that Phantom 4, the first one that I bought, one of the things that really bummed me out the first time I flew it was seeing the props in the picture.
You know what, Marcus, that was one of the things right away that I noticed. And I had a good friend of mine who's out in California, and one of the things he told me, he says, if you're filming cinematic with that, and he said what to do, he said, fly out to your destination, all right, and then when you pull back your throttle or pull the stick back and go backwards, and then he just in post, just edit that in post, and you have your video right there, and you're not going to have props in the shot. You won't have to worry about where you have your gimbal set with something like that, and that made a lot of sense. Because, it's like the first couple of times I had it up there, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just like, I'm getting some good shots, but it's like, those props are in it. And I think that's one thing, that's a good thing that you mentioned that, because I think, one of the things, there's the X Dynamics Evolve. Okay. One thing I got to give them some kudos for is the design where they have, the arms are up and they're out of the way. And you'll never see props with that. I mean, that I think was a good thing about it. I mean, there's a lot of things that they need to work on with that, but I think that's one of the good things about that.
Bill, I know I keep saying this, I almost like a broken record, but most of the time the props gets the shot, you're not seeing the prop, you're seeing the reflection. If you use the proper ND filter, I mean, not 100% of the time, but a large percent of the time, you could eliminate that the props appearing in by having the correct ND filter on. So
I also found out too on one of the forums, Ron, that there's a specific setting with the gimbal to where you can get it to where it doesn't go up at all. And a lot of times it will be, and depending upon the speed that you're going at, if you have that setting like that, you won't get any props in the shots.
Wow.
So but I want to ask Marcus about his newest purchase right now, and I think both Ron and I are kind of anxious to find out. I know.
Here we go. You're gonna open a can of worms up here, Bill.
We've seen the video, and we cried with you, Marcus. Trust me, we really did.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I have to thank all the support I got from everybody on that. Because I'm just going to be straight with you. It shook me up when you look at something. This is pretty damn heavy, and if something this like this fell from the sky on top of you, it wouldn't be good. And of course, there was nobody in that park, and if there had been, I wouldn't have had it up there to begin with, like any of us. But still, you think of those things. But just for the people that haven't seen it, what happened is, I'll kind of hold this up there. There's these screws in the props, and it was my first flight with this drone, and I installed the props for the first time. One of these screws was missing on a prop, so it hovered and it did fine, and I backed it up in a pull away shot, and it got, I don't know how far away, but that prop flew off and sent it flying and sent it tumbling into the ground. There's more to the story now, though, and remarkably, the drone is remarkably unhurt. I had one. They gave me one spare prop that fit on there, so I can fly it again. But today, FEMA came out with a video that said that what they wanted you to do if you had not flown your drone in a while, or if you'd had a collision with it. And one of the things they focused on in their video was the props. So I feel a little bit vindicated there. And I have been in touch with WeSci at FEMA, and they're aware of the issue. I was expecting to hear back from them today. I haven't. And let me tell you guys, it's not that I'm expecting anything from FEMA. Maybe another set of props or something's all I care about it at this point. But what I do want them to do is either up their quality control or revise the design of those props, whatever it is. So in any case, anybody that is flying the FEMA X8 SE, I urge you, it is a 1 1/2 millimeter hex head on these props. I urge you to check the tightness of that screw. Like I said, the one I had, evidently the screw was not even in there. And now, what I don't know, I have to tell you, it was the first time I flew the bird, so I was being meticulous about my pre-flight. And it was the first time I'd installed props on it. I checked them. I'm not kidding you guys, and I'm not joking. I checked them 2 or 3 times, and I can't believe that I wouldn't have seen that screw missing. So I kind of have the feeling that when I picked it up and was holding it up for the video, that maybe that screw, maybe it didn't have a nut on the other end or something, and it might have fallen out then, or I could have just missed it. I can't say for certain. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, Marcus, I got to ask you, first of all, where did you get your FEMA from?
So I did buy it from Banggood, and okay. Let's show you the hang on here. Let me get this. Show you the box here. So in true FEMA or in true Banggood fashion, the box is it's banged real good.
What else would you? Yeah, no other way.
Yeah. Okay. And I originally ordered it in December, by the way. I probably should tell that story. So yeah, I originally ordered the drone in December through GearBest. And by the end of February, I got so frustrated, I canceled that order. Probably 2 or 3 days later, I was watching Dustin Dunhill's video, and he had a pretty good discount code, a $75 discount. So I reordered it through Banggood, and that was on March 3rd. And I got the drone, I don't know, less than a week ago. It finally showed up.
So how much did you pay for it, Marcus?
$425, which is, of course, a tremendous value for if that drone does what they say it'll do. And it does have, as opposed to our favorite little Zino, you can see a sonic sensor and an optical flow sensor underneath there.
Well, the underneath of that, and I think Ron would probably concur with me, reminds me of the original Mavic Pro. When you look
right, but it only has one camera and one sensor, and the Mavic Pro has 2 of each. So that's the big The big question, Marcus, is when will the FEMA X8 make its second flight?
Well,
that's the question. That's the inquiring minds want to know.
Yes, we definitely want to know, Marcus.
Funny you should mention that. So truthfully, I would have flown it today, but we had winds here, sustained winds about 15 miles an hour with about 25-mile-an-hour gusts. You know, you wouldn't think twice about flying your Mavic in that kind of wind. And this drone probably would handle it okay, but not having the experience with it in conjunction with the experience I had on my first flight, I decided not to try it today, and hopefully it'll be better weather tomorrow. But what I did do is I made a video today where I went through the post-crash inspection, inspecting the props, tightening the props, redoing all of the calibrations on the drone in preparation for the next flight. And that's actually, that video is rendering on my computer in the background right now.
No, that's very wise.
You know, one of the things that I'm just real curious, Marcus. How much does that weigh compared to, say, like the Zino or to like the Mavic 2 Zoom?
It is about, you know, I'd have to look up the specs, but it feels about like the Mavic 2, and it's much heavier than the Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting.
Just for the fun of it, we can kind of, let me get back here. So I guess they're kind of similar in size. The Hubsan is a little bit smaller, I suppose.
I think I think on what's it, Justin's, he said the Zino's taller than the Fimi X8.
I don't know. Hang on here. I'm going to tell you.
I have a question for both of you, and I would like to get both of your answers on this. Okay.
Okay.
If I were looking at a Zino, I want to hear from each of you. Why should I buy a Zino right now?
I'll go first. If your budget is $300 and under, and you want a 4K camera drone stabilized, I think it's your only option.
Ron and Bill, you can buy this drone all day now for $250. If you go on eBay, there's, you know, those make offer ads that they're advertising it at $265. I've looked at the completed listings, and some of them have gone brand new for as low as $225. And like Ron said, well, you don't get any sensors under here. For $250, what a phenomenal piece of technology. Now, if you've got another, 150, yeah, right there, or 200, I suppose. This is the one. But yeah.
At this price range, it's all about your budget. You have to tell me what's the max amount you have to spend, and then I can tell you which one to get. I mean, if you tell me you have $500 to spend, then I'm saying, yeah, look at the Anafi or the Fimi.
Okay, here's my question about the Fimi. I know because I've seen some of Dustin's videos, okay, on that, and I'm just real curious, okay. Do you think that I mean, because you know, some are good, some are bad, you know, and I know Ron, you don't have it, but I'm interested in hearing your opinion on this. Do you think something like this will be better than an Anafi? I'm just curious to hear this from you guys.
Well, I mean, size wise, the Fimi X8 has a Mavic Pro Classic size. He just showed it off, and the Fimi is, I mean, it may be longer, but it's overall it's much smaller and lighter. So if you're somebody that travels a lot, you know, I mean, the Anafi has the advantage of being smaller. Now, Marcus will have to answer this question. How about the software between the two of them? I'm really impressed with the Anafi's app and software, but I have no idea outside of looking at Dustin's video how the Fimi software is. So we're going to let Marcus take it away on that.
Well, sadly, I'm kind of in the same boat. I didn't intend to be in the same boat at this point in my ownership experience with the Fimi, but I haven't flown it enough to really tell, other than to say that the software is, it's very intuitive. It looks really good. The features on it look good. And just what little I did fly it the other day, man, it was a nice smooth yaw on it and so forth. So I will reserve judgment and say that I have high hopes. And again, it comes down to that price point. If it does everything that they say it does, and of course, there's a lot of issues with it right now, but would I rather have it than say a Mavic Air? Probably, but I can't really definitively answer that until I see the quality of the video and exactly get my hands on the features.
I got a question for Bill the drone reviewer.
Yes, sir.
He's the only one that of us three. He's the only one that's flown both. Compare the flight characteristics of the Mavic Air versus the Parrot Anafi.
Hands down, the Anafi. I have to say that.
Wow.
I used to have an Air too, so I flew an Air quite a bit.
Because it's just the Air. It was not as responsive, Ron. It kind of lagged behind, especially you're giving that input on the stick, and you're still kind of waiting for a second before it makes that decision. I mean, aside from the horrible hornet's nest noise from that, and well, yeah, I'm gonna go there too, because you know what. The Anafi is one of the quietest drones I've ever been around. I mean,
definitely.
I think you guys would agree with me on that.
Definitely.
Yeah, one of the most annoying things about the Air was the freaking noise, man. That thing, and it wasn't the necessarily the volume; it was the tone.
Yeah. It's like, and I'm so glad that I don't know how Bill was able to get so lucky to get those master screw air props. And he got a hat from them too. But I mean, that video he did with that was incredible because, listening to that, the before and after, I mean, I could tell right away when Bill put those on, it was just like night and day with that. I mean, it was just, it was such a complete difference. And it kind of boggles my mind why DJI would come out with a product like that, because when I did my testing with that, it's like the whole neighborhood was watching me. Like everybody, it woke them up. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a fact.
If you haven't seen Bill Thomas's review of the Master Air Screws on the Mavic Air, drop whatever you're doing and go watch it right now. It's one of the
absolutely.
best. It's one of the best videos on the Master Air Screws and the Mavic Air on YouTube.
Yes, I agree 100% with Ron. And that reminds me, tomorrow night, catch Ron and Bill on Drone Therapy at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a great show. You definitely don't want to miss that. And guys, I'm also going to put a plug in for Marcus and Ron. Zino Nation, they're on Monday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern. And with Zino Nation, when you're looking for it on YouTube, and I'm going to put a link in the description, Zino Nation's all one word. Don't look for two separate words because you won't find it. It's all one word. That's an easy tip for you guys.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks so much for that shout out. Listen, do you want to? It's about shows. We're about midway through the show. Do you want to acknowledge some of the new people that's come in the chat room? And then I'm going to give a teaser, an old school teaser. And we come back from acknowledging the newcomers in the chat room. I'm going to turn Bill the drone reviewer into Bill the drone consultant, and he's going to help consult on me with an upcoming drone purchase.
Yes.
Are you ready for the task, Bill?
Yes, I am, Ron. We'll definitely do that. Here, let me greet some people.
You show some love to the chat room. We
got Dan here, Drone Worship Vlogs. Thanks for joining tonight. Drone Obsessed Jerry. Peter's in the house. Of course, Ethan's here. Drive By is in. Weave RV. The Johnstons are here tonight. Rick Halber's in the house. Thanks for coming tonight, Rick. Nick Murdoch is here. I know Ian was here. I saw them. Paul Murray. Paul, welcome. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. Paul's a regular on Canadian Drone Hub. He puts out some fantastic videos. Lives up at Port Huron. You get to see those incredible ships out there. Paul does some fantastic videos. You need to check his channel out. He does a great job with that. And the good folks at Canadian Drone Hub, I can't say enough nice things about them. And they're I'll put in a plug. I'm usually on Saturday mornings about 10, and we have a great time. Just bring your cup of coffee, sit down, and join the chat. We have a blast out there. So, okay, Ron, I'm going to open up, and Marcus, you're welcome to have some input on this as well. Bill's drone buying service here, or consult.
Put on your consulting hat, Bill. You take your IT hat off and put your consulting hat on. Bill has the best consulting rates on YouTube.
Yes, my
Okay.
consulting rates all day are pretty reasonable. I'll go for
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I'll go for an iced tea lemonade at Starbucks. How's that? So
There you go.
Ron,
Okay.
take it away.
First of all, in all seriousness here, I know, we've had some controversy about Phantom 5 rumors and everything, but I think Bill and I are both going to tell everybody out there, do not sit around and wait for a Phantom 5. If you need a drone right now, you need a top-level drone, photography drone. Bill and I think both advise people to go out and either buy the DJI Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom. You guys concur with me on that?
Absolutely.
Don't sit around waiting for a Phantom 5 to come out. If you need a drone, if you don't need a drone, you can wait forever on something. But if you need something this summer, you want to get out this summer, get some video. Maybe you're a pro, maybe you're just an amateur that wants to get some top level video. Go out and buy yourself a Mavic 2. But on that note, I'm an owner of a Mavic Pro Classic, which I think Bill had. And Marcus, do you have a Mavic Pro Classic?
I did. I had one a long time, and all this talk, you know what you did, Ron? You made me get out another prop.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so it's time for me to upgrade. Would you agree, Bill? It's time to upgrade. The Mavic 2 Pro was released. Was it early September last year?
It was August last year, Ron. But yeah.
August last year. Well, when did people first start getting in their hands?
I mean,
not seated reviewers, but when did a real live customer start getting it?
I got mine right like August 30th, August 31st last year. So I mean,
okay,
it was like a week later. I think Bill was about the same time when he got his too.
Okay, so
yeah, me too. I mean, I bet I had it in my hands a week after that introduction. It was fast.
Well, see, one of the things that DJI did, and I found this out, is they added more distribution centers both on the East Coast and West Coast. Now, it used to be they just had one and I'm sure Rick Halber and Steve Carpenter could probably tell me. Cupertino is Cupertino. I think California, they have a distribution center there. But I know now that DJI has one in New Jersey. I know they also, because a lot of times I'll get, where I get mine from, there's a distribution center in Atlanta is where they get them from. They were fast. I mean, they learned their lesson from the Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro. And, there was a lot of pain points with that. I mean, people ordered them in October, didn't get them till January that year. I mean, that was painful. That was really painful. So
that
go
was
ahead.
style.
Okay. So you guys would agree it's time to make that upgrade, right?
Absolutely.
I've saved up my money. I have it, I have it in the bank. I'm ready to go. But now here's the conundrum. Do I get the Mavic 2 Pro with the standard controller, or do I get the bundle with the smart controller? And I think somebody on this show has just recently acquired a smart controller. Is that a rumor? Is that a rumor, or is that true? Somebody has left the screen here. Could there actually be one on the show tonight?
There could be here. And first of all, I got to thank my good friend Rick Smith. Okay, I know he sent Ron and Marcus, or Ron and Bill, some things. Well, he sent me this wonderful case, okay, for the smart controller here, guys. And I have to tell you this. I got a video that it's coming out. I'm gonna be releasing it shortly. It's my unboxing, setup, and binding in first flight with this. And let me tell you something. You get that bundle, Ron, because you'll save $200. It's just, I hate to use a term like
$250.
$250. I hate to use it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but you know what? It is. The clarity on this, when I was out, I mean, it wasn't bright sunshine, but I'll tell you what, my video camera on it doesn't do it justice. It is the most incredibly clear, bright screen that's out there. I mean, bar none. It was just, and I'll tell you what, the one thing, and a lot of people have talked about this, is the responsiveness of the sticks. All right. It just blew me away. I mean, like the original the Mavic, the original remote was I thought excellent. This is even up a notch. It is just so responsive. I mean, it was just, I can't say enough about it. There's a screen recorder on it. It's built in. you swipe the screen down, and then there's an option in the settings menu. You hit screen record. You can either take a picture or let it go. And then if you put an SD card in here, you can copy it directly to the SD card, so you have your screen recording. Now, one of the neat things about this is, and I really like this, was, a lot of times I'll do screen recording with my iPad. When I'm on the Phantom 4, or when I was with the Mavic 2 Pro. And there was always, like, if I recorded audio on a separate track, always had a hard time syncing it up because there was a lag in the iPad's video with that. Always a lag. There's no lag in this at all, guys. All I had to do was find the start point where I started on here. It was perfect. And you'll see it. I got a video coming out about this too. So, Ron, you don't even hesitate on this.
Well, I was going to get a little crazy here. I'm on the DJI store website.
Hold on, folks. Mark is going to hit the buy button here.
Well, fortunately, I think for me, it has an in-stock reminder and it says out of stock.
I ended up getting kind of lucky on that. It was just dumb luck. And I got mine directly from DJI. I was, it must have been right when they were running out before, that in-stock reminder thing came out. I got very, very lucky. And what I liked about this was, it just so happened when it came. Now, I work from home one day a week, and that was that day of the week that it came, because you guys know how DJI is with FedEx. Well, this actually came UPS, which was great, but still, always they have the signature required thing with this, and I lucked out. I absolutely lucked out. So, Ron, have you hit the buy button yet?
Well, I just want to say that's a ringing endorsement, Bill. You didn't leave any stone unturned on that endorsement.
Absolutely not. It just to me, it's just one of the best accessories I've seen for any kind of drone. It really is. It just, DJI thought of everything, because it has an HDMI. You can actually hook that up if you had wanted to view your stuff right away on that. Having that SD card in there. Now, the only thing I will say is this: it did take a full 2.5 hours to charge it up. It will. And one of the things that I can suggest, and I know Rick Smith talked about this on Drone Valley, is when you're out there with this, you probably want to have one of those. I have an Anchor, and it's a pretty large, and I forget how many milliamp hours it is. I have a very large one that I'm going to take with me if I'm going out for a while to fly, so I can make sure that there's no question that I'm going to have a full charge on the controller.
Also, I asked a friend of the channel. Everybody knows Ken Dono, right? Original Dobo. He did a review on the smart controller recently, and I asked him point blank. I said, listen, I'm not a professional like you. I don't have 3 or 4 different Mavics I need to change over. But would you still recommend a smart controller? And he said he would still get it, even as an amateur flyer like me that only has one Mavic, too.
Rob, could I throw 2 bits in?
Go ahead, Marcus. We need your input.
In defense of this guy right here, if I could only have one drone in the whole world, there's just not a question. It would be this guy right here. When my wife and I were coming back from Montana a couple weeks ago, we stopped at several locations on our way back, and I put this thing up in the air. It happened to be a really windy day. I was flying this thing in up to 30-mile-an-hour gusts. You wouldn't even have known it. The way the drone handled, the way it did everything, it was just like normal. I was getting a lot of wind warnings. But the camera, it always reminds me, I fly these other drones and then I fly this thing, and that's how a drone is supposed to fly. The smoothness of the controls, the controllability, the quality of the video that you get out the other end. And this is the zoom, so I assume the Pro, that quality is even better yet. But man, this is the class of the field. There's just no question.
Well,
Bill, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
I got to say this, Ron. If you get a Pro or a Zoom, it's really, you're getting the best that's out there. All right, obviously, if you go with the Zoom, you're going to get some capabilities and features that you won't get on the Pro. And if you go with the Pro, you're going to get some capabilities and features that you won't get on the Zoom. And, and that's kind of one of the things. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Now, one of the things that I think is very interesting in this is, now they announced at the launch event, and I think you guys remember this, that you could swap out the cameras. And I think Ken did that. Ken, correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, but I think you swapped out cameras. Oh, I think was that the thermal? I'm not sure, but I know he swapped out cameras on it, and it's so easy to do that. And DJI said they were going to do it for a fee to be able to switch cameras if you wanted to do it, because basically, I mean, it was just like a cable, attach it to some screws, and boom, you had the camera in it. It was that easy. But Ron, either one you get, you will not be disappointed. I can tell you that right now.
Ken Donut says to get both of them and apologize later. Is that a wise strategy?
Well, Ken, I know Ken said this before. He's get both and apologize later and probably sleep on the couch that night.
Yeah. Okay, Bill. Speaking of price point, okay, now I'm on a budget here. I mean, I got my money saved up, but I got a budget of just over 2,000, 2,200. So here's a question for you: getting the smart controller means throwing the Flymore kit out. Would you still go with the smart controller over the Flymore kit?
Yes, I think the only advantage that you get with the Flymore kit, well, you get two of them. You get that. You get the. I'm going to do a show and tell here. Marcus is doing one.
Marcus had a stack of drones here just a second ago. Okay. The largest stack on YouTube.
This is the adapter to multiple battery adapter. You can get charge 4 batteries at once, and it's compact. It folds up. That's the nice thing about this. You won't get that, and you won't get the extra. There's 2 batteries with it. Okay, that case. I'm sorry. I hate to say that a case is a joke, but that case is a joke. All right. It's okay. Like if you want to carry it to you're going to a friend's house or something, but you won't get more than what you can get in there is this. You can get the remote. You can get a battery in the drone and 2 extra batteries and your cables, and that's it. You're not going to get anything else in there. I mean, and you got to carry, when I was, not having the smart controller, I had to end up, getting a backpack or something to put it in as well, to carry my iPad, and, I had a Mav mount for that. So, and this is a question that I kind of think, is there going to be a glut of unused Mavic 2 controllers out there on eBay, because a lot of people are getting the smart controller now? That's a good question. And I think another good question is this for those of us, I know, with Marcus as well, having the original controller, getting the smart controller, do you keep the other one as a backup? For me, I'm going to keep it as a backup for now. I mean, heaven forbid, something happened to the smart controller, I would be out not being able to fly until the smart controller got repaired. So,
or Bill, you touched on it. What if your battery just went dead? You could pull the other one out of your bag and still fly.
Yeah. I think that's important. I think that's something probably you need to keep, in consideration too. But when you get that, you get the smart controllers, you don't get the benefit of getting that as well. Now I know, my apologies to Bill Thomas. Bill, we love you. Okay. But he had a fantastic point. I think DJI, one of the 2 things that DJI really missed with the smart controller was not having it available at launch last year in August. I thought that was because it was real interesting. The one gentleman during the launch event, if you guys remember that, he's a filmmaker, and they sent him to Greenland to do this. And if you looked in some of the clips, you actually saw the smart controller. He was using that in some of the footage that you saw, but people, it just got glossed over real quick. And I think, hey, Kestelou kind of caught that and took some stills from that and put that on. It's like, what's this? What are we seeing here, kind of a thing. So I think that's a big mistake. And I agree with Bill. They should have offered a discount for those of us that had already gotten it.
Definitely.
We should have had a discount with that, and they, didn't see it.
Bill led the way there. Real fast in the chat, Mel just told you to, get the smart control and let Val move the camera with the regular controller.
I was going to bring that up too. Yeah.
You know, that's absolutely. I mean, Ken, original Dobo, did a fantastic video on the dual remotes. He did it with his wife. Okay, Ken, that's one of my. You know, you do fantastic videos. That one, I mean, that's like a 5 out of 5 stars every single time you look at it. You have the patience of a saint with your wife. Okay. And you know, and you're still married. Okay, that's a good thing. But no, seriously, that was a great video.
Yeah. Anybody out there that flies drones that doesn't follow Ken Dono's channel, Original Dobo, get right over there and subscribe tonight. Stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button.
Go over there, and yeah, I agree 100%. Ken puts out quality videos. He does a great job. You know, he did a fantastic on the last firmware update. And one of the things that I wanted to share with both Ron and Marcus was, you know, I caught something with the last firmware update. And what it's like I'm running it, and now it said first of all, it said that you have to run it by the DJI Assistant 2 for Mavic app, and that's one thing that people need to understand is when you're upgrading it, it's DJI Assistant, but it's DJI Assistant for Mavic, and Marcus knows this because you know that's the update software that's on your PC. But the thing that I found out, I kept doing it, and it kept failing at 98%, kept failing at 98%. Then I found out something, and I looked at it when I looked at the release notes, okay? DJI Assistant 2 for Mavic, the first one was 2.06. The other one was released on the same day as the upgrade for the smart controller. It was 2.08. It was a previous version that I was using. I had to upgrade it. Once I upgraded it updated. I mean, it was just like one of those things. I tried it for like 3 or 4 times. I'm just like, what's going on here? You know, is my internet slow? What? No, I can't figure it out. And it was all because I had the previous version with that. I didn't, you know, and that's one of the things, you know, DJI says, you know, make sure you have the latest version of DJI Assistant 2, but you assume you have that when you do that.
Right. Bill, back on track just for a second here. So, okay. So I'm purchasing the smart control bundle for $18.99. Again, my budget's $2,200. So I'm going to get an extra battery, which is like about 130. Second battery. I'm going to get ND filters, which I think I'm going to get the Polar Pro. I forget, pack about $50. And then what is the care package I should purchase from DJI? What's that called, and what does that do for me?
DJI Care Refresh. Marcus, did you get that?
I did, and I used DJI Select, my DJI Select membership, to get 50% off.
Yeah, that's, you know, when you buy that and this is one thing I found out, you know, when you buy that as a bundle, you know, you can get 50% off when you do that. Now, one of the restrictions is that you have to buy it within, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, I think it's like 72 hours or something like that. I mean, they give you a limited kind of window to be able to buy that in. Am I right?
Yes, and now I was already a DJI Select member, so as soon as I clicked the button to buy the drone, I went in and bought the DJI Refresh using my Select membership.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Ron, that's something I would absolutely highly recommend. I've gotten that on every DJI drone I've had from when I got my original Mavic Pro, when I got the Spark, you know, when I got the Mavic 2, and when I got the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. You know, that's one thing that I automatically do. Now, the next call for me is to my State Farm insurance agent as well. And what was real interesting about that was I only had to pay an additional, what was it, $35 on my policy for the premium for a year. So I was pretty pleased. You know, it's like it gives me peace of mind, you know, that I have DJI Care Refresh and that I have also State Farm on that too, because, you know, I'm covered no matter which way I look.
Bill, let me stop before you get off that. Now, the State Farm insurance, how soon after I purchase the Mavic 2 Pro do I need to get the State Farm? Is there a small window there, or?
No, you really have no you know.
Okay.
You know, it's like you were in the things that you'll need with something like that. Like if you're to call your State Farm agent and wanted to get it, it's called a personal articles policy. You know, most of them are about $75 when you just flat out for like one drone for a year. It's about I was able to get about $2,000 worth of coverage. Of course, I covered everything, include case, everything. It was all covered. Now it also covers theft. That's one of the nice things, and accident regarding that. So, you'll need your bill of sale, you'll need your date, and you'll need your serial number when you contact State Farm.
Okay, so you think the plan I just laid out, the Mavic 2 Pro smart controller bundle, extra battery, ND filters, DJI, what did you call the care program?
DJI Care Refresh.
Care Refresh and State Farm Insurance. You think right there that covers the basics for me for right now? I agree 100%. Because I'm getting great battery life, so I'm the person I rarely ever, again, I'm like Marcus. I'm guilty of owning too many drones, so it's not like I need that many batteries for one drone because I go to the field with a car full of drones. So you know what I mean. If I bought 3 batteries for the Mavic Pro, that would never ever get done because I'm grabbing the Anafi or the Zino or something else that's coming in that car. I mean, I can't fly for 5 hours straight, so 2 batteries, especially when I'm getting. Bill, am I correct? You get at least 25 minutes in the air with the
absolutely. Well,
yes.
That's interesting that you bring that up because I have a video coming out this weekend. It's another one on my epic battle, Phantom 4 and Mavic 2 Pro. And what I did was I kind of did a dual test, and it was interesting, was battery life and range on that. Now, I'm not going to give anything away, but I will tell you, Ron, you're right. You're right as far as that's concerned. And that's one thing that I thought was great. Great improvement over the original Mavic Pro was the battery life of the Mavic 2.
Okay, so as my drone consultant, you what I've outlined, you give the stamp of approval.
I give a ringing endorsement, Ron. Ringing.
Okay, well, when I have this package, will you invite me back on the show again, and I'll show everything I got off, and we'll recap my experience. Maybe I'll even make like a small video of the purchase or whatever. Is that something we could work with?
Absolutely. You know what we'll do? We'll have another Zino Nation episode, okay? And it will be Ron and the Mavic 2, whether he gets the Pro or the Zoom, and we'll take a look at everything that Ron has. And Marcus and I can give you. We'll give you our tips, tricks, and suggestions
and critique.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll up you guys one on that. I think when that happens, I think we ought to all fly out someplace and meet someplace and fly the darn drones.
Hey, Bill, the drone review. Let's all meet on Reddington Beach.
Oh yes, absolutely.
At the abandoned pier.
At that abandoned fishing pier. Oh my gosh, Marcus, I got to tell you, Ron was telling me about that when we met. He and Susan for dinner that night, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And then I saw it, and it was just one of those things. It was just begging to be filmed by a drone. It was one of those perfect sights. And then I got to say this, okay, Ron had captured when my Mavic 2 was landing in the sun. If you watch the video again, it was like it's one of those 1 in 100 million kind of views. It was just priceless.
That is really cool. Yeah, you guys, you don't know me. I would do that. I'm not joking.
You would have been perfect at Reddington Beach that night. Yeah, you'd have loved it that night, Marcus.
Yeah.
Are you a good eater? Marcus would probably like the conch shack too. Do you have a nice appetite, Marcus?
God, you've seen me in my videos. What do you think?
Yeah, that place, Marcus, is just the food there is just fantastic. I mean, if you're hungry when you leave, shame on you. Well, Ron ended up okay. Ron kind of binged, I think, his whole trip on grouper tacos.
I ate grouper of some sort every day. I had to stop myself from eating at lunch and dinner at one point.
Well, there's a pretty good joke there that rhymes, but I'm not going to say it.
I gotta say this. I never had, and this is interesting, Ron. I never had grouper until I moved here. Okay, and it's like it is just absolutely incredible. It's like I couldn't believe it. The first time I had it, it was so good. It was just like why didn't I know about this sooner? It's like,
Mel, why you didn't know about it sooner was if you order a grouper, even I live in by the sea in New Jersey, you order a grouper up here, it's no good. I'm sure a grouper was no good in Ohio or Pittsburgh. It's only good if you get it down in Florida or the islands or the Caribbean. Don't order it up here or up north. It won't be any good.
You're right. I mean, that was it, because, having it down here, it was just like, wow. And I think I told Ron, we had a place down by where we used to live, and it was like a setup of what was like, they called it like a fish factory, but it was just, you could stop by. They did takeouts there, and their grouper there was to die for, and it was takeout, and it was like $5 for this enormous sandwich you would get over there. It was fantastic. Wow. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, folks, I know we're boring you to death with Grouper Nation here. So the consulting guard would too. Bill's taking his consulting hat off, and we return to your regularly scheduled show. Marcus has something to say.
We're taking the consulting hat off here, and this hour has passed by incredibly quickly with you guys. First question I want to ask: are you guys open to coming back on again?
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
Well, we're coming back on when I get that Mavic. That's a guarantee.
Yes, we will get it. We will get that set in stone and get you on here, Ron. That will be absolutely fantastic.
We'll call that one Mavic Nation that night.
Yes, we'll be dealing. We'll have all. I'll get my Mavic. Ron will get his. Marcus will get his out. We'll all be set. I mean,
and listen, folks, we may even all get together and do that show live together at an undisclosed location.
You guys don't know me. I'm telling you.
This man's crazy. You may see all of us together live.
I could get to Florida for about $350 from here. So,
well, I gotta say this. I would be open to it too. I have a little thing going on at the end of June. I think you guys might know that. Yeah. My daughter is, and I actually talked to my daughter and son-in-law, and she's doing great. Her shower's coming up at the beginning of June. She's due June 29th. So, I have 5 vacation days planned for that, because we're going to be up in beautiful Ohio. And that's one thing I'm probably going to try to sneak I got to say this under my breath. I got to sync the Mavic 2 Pro with me when I go up there. So I don't want to let people know I'm taking it with me. Oh, you're going
to Columbus, Bill?
Yes. Going to Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, real quick from the chat room, Mel keeps telling me I gotta get the zoom. I gotta get that Mavic Pro zoom. Marcus, you're a zoom man. I said, Mel, that's a great drone. Mel has that. I know Ken has both. He likes both drones. The zoom has some incredible features. Like I said, Ron, you will not be disappointed in either drone. You
can't go wrong.
I guarantee you. And Marcus has the zoom too.
I could go any meeny miny mo and get whatever one the meanie stops on, huh?
Okay.
Well, the one thing, you get the zoom, you're running a little less, so that's a little more budget friendly for you too. So maybe you could be able to throw in and get a nice case for that too, Ron.
Right. I mean, the case is I tell you the truth. You've seen my videos. Since I'm a photographer, I take my real cameras out. The Mavic's so small, I just stick it in my camera bag. Well, I don't even need a real bag for it.
You just said something there that I think makes sense. If you're a photographer, you should get the Pro. And what I'll add to that is you have the Anafi that you've got zoom capability on. So you know what? I'm just saying for you, Ron, the Pro might make more sense.
So I could go out with the camera bag. I could have the Mavic 2 Pro in the back, and I could have the Anafi in the bag. So I got the I got the Hasselblad camera for those incredible stills, and then if I need to zoom in tight, I get the little Anafi out.
Absolutely,
that would be a nice kit.
That absolutely would.
We could put that kit together and sell it. We could call it the BillTheDroneReviewer kit or whatever, and we could maybe get a discount or whatever, and all subscribers, we could offer them even a further discount on that package.
Absolutely.
The smart control we bundle with it, and what if we could get Parrot to make us a special smart controller for the Anafi?
He's on a roll, Bill. He's on a roll.
He is. He is. You know, we need to let Ron go. I mean, it's just, you know, Ron's got it going right now. Ron is absolutely, he is rolling downhill and he's picking up speed as we go. I mean,
I'm channeling Bill Thomas here. When Bill Thomas gets on a creative roll, there's no stopping the man.
well, you know, it's like, I think Ron has been around, Ron and I have been around Bill a lot. And I think that's where he's picking that up from right now. He's definitely getting that. Before we close here, guys, you know, I want to repeat, you know, I pulled the video regarding this. You know, if you guys want to rewatch the first 5 minutes of this video, you know, I issued a formal apology to all my viewers and subscribers because I was duped with that video. You know, it was one of those things, and you know, I should have learned my lesson. You know, because I had been duped before. So, you know, it's happened twice, and it's in my book, it's twice too many times. So again, watch the first 5 minutes of the replay, you know, when it's broadcast, because you'll see the email that the gentleman sent me, and then you'll also see the email that actually was posted on the Phantom forums back in August last year, and they are two different emails. So again, my apologies for that. I want to thank profusely Zino Nation for being on here tonight. I want to thank Ron Brown. I want to thank Marcus Crawford. There will be a link in the description, so you need to check out Zino Nation. I also put links to Ron's channel and Marcus's regular channel. If you haven't subscribed to them, do it. They do fantastic videos. You got to check out Ron's video from Florida. Okay, the videos he did down there, they were super. Marcus puts out fantastic. He does great reviews on things, and he does them from here. He's right here. You know, he's like Ken. You know, he does it original. You know, there's no fluff. He tells you like it is. You know, and that's absolutely positively spot on. So, guys, I want to thank you, and have some closing thoughts from each one of you before we wrap things up.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, first off, Bill, thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate it, and I know Ron does too. And with regard to the situation that you found yourself in, listen, you know, you got duped, and there's no through no fault of your own. You are doing what one of the missions of your channel is, and that's to bring us the latest news with regard to things like developments with DJI. So don't blame yourself, and you did everything right. But I want to put one more shout out before I get off for the little Hubsan Zino. I got to tell you guys, I mean, Zino Nation, we talk about this, and we got all these other drones that are more expensive. I paid $300 for this thing, and I have had more fun with this little guy. It'll go out. It has a great Wi-Fi connection. It'll go out a kilometer. I don't know why you would ever want to go out any further than that. Solid as a rock. It's got a nice camera on it, and it's just plain fun to fly. And I think the other dynamic is because it's a cheaper drone, you quite frankly, you're not so uptight about it. You'll have fun flying it. So with that, Ron.
Thank you so much, Bill, for inviting Marcus on the show tonight. We were looking so forward to this, and it was better than we could even imagine being on here. And I want to thank everybody in the chat room for helping me make my big purchase. A lot of people gave me advice on which Mavic 2 to get, and I'm going to consider everything everybody said to me in the chat room before I make my final decision. And I do want to give Bill Thomas a shout out here, and I want to give props to Bill the Drone Reviewer for doing the right thing and making a correction in some bad information you got. But he did the right thing. He amended what was incorrectly reported, almost like a true journalist. He's not a real journalist, but he did sleep in a what's that hotel or whatever. But he did the right thing. And like I said, Bill, I made Bill say it tonight, but Bill is not advising anybody to sit home and not buy a drone waiting for the Phantom 5. He's not doing that. If anybody needs a top level drone right now from DJI, he's saying go out and get the Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom or whatever. He's not telling you to to sit around and wait for the Phantom 5. So I mean, it's just all good fun. But again, that's all I have to say on the subject, and I'm going to throw it back to Bill H so he can wrap up for the evening.
Marcus and Ron, I can't thank you guys enough for being on. Again, there'll be links in the description for you guys. Please subscribe to Zino Nation. Please subscribe to Ron's channel. Please subscribe to Marcus's channel. They put out quality videos. And everybody that's in the chat tonight, I know Mel's in the chat. I know Ari from Australia, he's in the chat. Steve Carpenter's in the chat tonight. Joe's Drone Life. Subscribe to their channels as well. We need to support each other, and the best way to do it is subscribe and watch the videos, okay, and like and give people comments, because that helps us to be able to create better content out there. And I want to thank both what Marcus and Ron said regarding my video. I had made a mistake before. That was like almost 2 years ago. And that's one of the things, I regret that one. And I came out with an apology. And it's the same thing here. You learn from your mistakes. I learned from this one. Going forward, it's going to be to the nth degree as far as scrutiny is concerned. And I'm going to think about 100,000 times before I put a video out on whether or not that information is accurate. So again, my apologies about that. And I wanted to get the correct information out about, unfortunately, the gentleman made that error. So, and we were due. But I want to also mention, Bill Thomas, Coast to Coast Drones tomorrow night, Drone Therapy at 8:30. Ron's going to be on tomorrow night. It's going to be great. Okay. Anytime Ron's on with Bill, absolutely fantastic show. I enjoyed my time on the show. Could not have been better. Bill is fantastic. Bill is just drones right here. There's not a heart beating in Bill Thomas's chest. There's probably a spark or a Zino inside there. He is all about drones, and he does. That's one of the things that I really like about Bill. He really promotes the idea of drones, period. So guys definitely need to check them out. I know also Paul Murray was in the chat tonight too. Check out Paul's channel. He does fantastic with these unbelievably long ore carriers up at Port Huron. He does great videos with that. So also I wanted to mention too, Billy Kyle has a fundraiser going on right now. He has a GoFundMe. His cat has a very serious disease, and I'll see if I can get a link. I thought Bill was going to send me one, but I'll find that. And if I can, I'll drop a link in the description. I'll also get it out on BillTheDroneReviewer Facebook page and group, so you guys can definitely check that out and help that. It brought a tear to my eye when I read what's going on with Billy's cat. So, if you could think of that and remember that as well, I'm sure Billy would greatly appreciate that. Again, many thanks to Zino Nation. Many thanks to all of you, my viewers and subscribers. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching. And remember, it's a great day to fly, guys. Take care.